Anyways, with those little things out of the way, let's just wait for the OSP to lock in. Das and Dudlord, last two ready up here, finalizing their strategy. It looks like the ANS have got their plan locked in with Task Force Oak. I'm going to laugh my ass off if they really just do run like 4 Task Force Oaks. All right, anyways, let's get this game started. Civil in MySpace game, it's more likely than you think. This is going to be a long VOD for me to have to edit. Oh well. Whatever. We'll make it happen. I knew I was going to be doing all of these ones. I definitely would not have been so excited. How am I kidding? I would have been just excited with the previous games. This is a fun day we're having. All right. Make sure everything's still behaving. Anyways, tournament setup in progress. Right, we can unpin that sticky message because we are actually in tournament game proper here. Let's do that. Whoopee! All right. Okay, welcome to Blood Moon. Let's set up ourselves so we figure out where team 1 and 2 are. I honestly forgot which side. I think it's like this, right? Just wait for them to get Guillaume in here, and then I'll marker it. Will it go off stream after this cast? I gotta cast this series and figure out. Okay, there we go. Blue is on the left, orange is on the right. Okay. 3, 2, 1, marker. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more tournament games. We are seeing the first game now. This is going to be in the all hands on deck tournament. We have Iona Heavy Industries squaring off against Arroyo Vista. Iona Heavy Industries consists of Sir Poopit, Pine, Bishop Edwina, and Iona themselves. Going to be in the blue trunks representing the AMS. Oh my god, they're actually doing it. I joked about this in the pregame. You can't just run 4 Task Force Oaks. Oh, this is going to be a good series. All right. Team 2 in the OSP trunks, we have got squaring off against them. Arroyo Vista, consisting of their captain, Dudlord, Nico, Das, and Brigdacil. I joked in the pregame lobby. I saw the names. I was like, oh yeah, sure. It's just, yeah, totally doing 4 Task Force Oaks just for the funnies. They are actually committing to it. The Mad Lads, Lasses, and others. Just all right, let's see how this goes. OSP deploying across the battle space here. ANS electing to send 2 Oak pairs towards A point, 1 towards C, and then 1 to secure the natural D point. Going to be completely giving up on the B side by the looks of it. This is Blood Moon Remastered, if anyone's not familiar with it. Blood Moon was a previous map that was kind of put out. I believe Hunter had put that one together. The remastered version got a little bit of a kind of reset to it. So we see there's this nice large rock in the middle. A lot of teams can rotate around and plenty of cover on this side as well. Bit more of the open space here that this Oakford group might enjoy having to use for their long-range guns. All right, let's see what we get. I might cover ANS team just first to see if it is actually Task Force Oak or what they are doing. Either way, this is hilarious. If they run completely stock, they absolutely win on the style front. So that's a Torpcello. Oh, this is going to be a good game. Oh, yes, this is going to be a good game. All right, what do we got? Task Force Oak over here. Is this stock? I think this is stock. Are they actually doing this? Is this actually the stock? I think this is small locker, large, CIC, bulk mag. This might just be stock. Let's double check. Okay, 1 Task Force Oak over here. Same looking build. Yep. I think they did. Are these just all the same? Looking down at the bottom of the map here. Yeah, it's identical loadouts. Moral failing. And then lastly, Sir Poopit with the group headed here on the other side. The steps we must take so Nekoboy gets through these things in a reasonable amount of time. Oh boy, yep. Anyways, 4 Oaks is the game plan for ANS. This is going to be a great series. Okay, Torpedo Acela we saw on the deployment here from Das. Das with the close quarters torpedo dumpage device and a bunch of those Pavises and a pinpoint lock to get themselves on target. Interrupt comms jammer on the back of that Raider drive and 2 Whiplashes to get themselves up close and personal with this thing. We're going to see that accompanying this is actually on the top side of the map. They're going to be, it looks like a variant on a multi-mission tug. Got that Talisman swing arm launcher up here with some Naganatas. No other offensive missiles on that thing. So just going to be going for that aircraft control, which is not really going to do them much in this game. T-20 shuttle is moving itself onto the E point on the underside of the map. Natural capper there. Got another naked shuttle here going towards the C point proper. This thing has only a chaff box, basically nothing else. Aux steering basic. Give yourself a rapid team. Come on, you know better than this. Anyways, they're going to be trying to brick it onto the C point there. We'll see they've got a T-20 chaff box capper kind of going towards A point, but maybe taking a little bit of time to turn itself around there. This thing actually has a damage control team. There you go. Then another T-20 naked capper going towards B side. Brig over here, Brigdacil, or however you pronounce it. I can't really say it right. Anyways, ooh, illumination looking weird on this thing. All right, 450s on the broadside there. You can kind of see them. There we go. Illuminate them by the giant glowing sun thing in the background. T-20 secondary batteries, container stack launchers on this as well, chaff box, and that looks to be about it. got a double drive here, long haul and the yard drive for good maneuverability on this thing. All right, jury-rigged reactor in the nose instead. All right, Citadel complex up top. Cool stuff. Going to see another one of these things run in tandem along with it. Decoy container fired off there, trying to make the enemy think twice. A little bit of decoy action today, going to be quite good. Yeah, Vostal saying, just tuned to what the hell are these comps. This is Task Force Oak, like literally stock Oak against Torpedo Ocello and whatever else we're finding so far. A Bloodhound Tug is going to be paving the way for accurate fire support. See, the Dudlord has another one already finding a Task Force Oak over there. Let's see, what do you got? That's the last British steel ship. Let's go to Dudlord. Dudlord managed to cheap out on these Ocellos a little bit. 450 is going to start biting into Task Force Oak in the distance. We've got a, yeah, that's pretty standard Ocello kit. It's got the comms jammer, got the floodlight, got the auroras, and the bullseye on that, chaff box on the chin. Gun plotting and a bulk mag here in the back fairly safely. Got double radar for extra dodge. And then we're going to see over here. Ooh, here's how they afforded it. Yes, rails in the broadside. Going to be putting some of those. That's going to be really effective against these Oaks. At the same time, Oak not got a bow tank. Just present broadside and let them have it. That's like 14 barrels of 450 putting down range there. That's going to do it. And then lastly, in Dudlord's fleet over here is going to be that Bloodhound Tug. Talisman Launcher as well with more Naganatas. Completely wasted in this comp. Decap Oak is going off there. We're going to see 2 Oaks moving towards A point. C point Oaks are going to be moving up to engage the enemy. Lastly, we're going to see Nico coming in with the air control asset on this team. Nothing to contest them in the skies, and I don't think there's anything to really like contest them with any of those Naganatas or other things. It's just going to be, I hope my point defense and soft kill is good enough. Why does this thing have no damage control teams? You have an open slot, I'm pretty sure. Pay 10 points for a rapid, I swear, you people. All right, let's take a look at these things. Got some hangars in there. Take a look here. That is a lot of bomber. That is going to be at least 24 bombers currently getting off the deck. Got themselves a good chunk of Barracudas as well here coming out. See, there's a bunch of Barracudas launched first and foremost. Going to see these things equipped with a bunch of air control missiles and such. Got those 35mm Flechette nose guns. And just otherwise investing a lot into controlling the skies. Once they realize what they're up against, we're going to see just how fast Nico can land all of their planes, re-equip them for ground pound strike, and then basically take this 8 capital team to town. That's the team comps. That's the match. B point is secured by the OSP here. C point is being moved on the very naked shuttle that could... here's the actual technical play they're trying to do. What they're trying to do here is by pointing the nose of the ship down, they prevent a very flat profile. That means that enemy incoming fire is more likely to overpen and go out the other side rather than taking it on the nose or in the broadside there. Kind of a cool little trick there, seeing them. Also allows you to then slide off the point quickly into the little donut hole there in the middle. Let's take a look further out on the map. E point was secured early on. A point has not actually been capped yet. DAS actually holding back their assets a little bit, saying, okay, something funky's going on. What's the deal? They may have seen the drive flares and realized something's up here. We'll see just what ends up developing here from the other team. I say other team, from the Oak team as they try and move on to the point. Problem with Oak is that Oak is good against basically everything except for these like really thin cappers because it can't really do much to shoot them effectively. The 450 is notorious for over-penetrating, which means it does only about 20% of its listed damage. So you'll just like basically put a round right through the ship. People will look at each other and say, I wonder what that was. Just like that. Notice the negligible damage as the 450 flies out and causes basically no effect. Bloodhound continues to hold target over here. We saw that that's not the, where is it? Here it is, yes. The rail ship over here able to put 9 rail rounds downrange very effectively into the nose of ships like this. But still, if they're going to go with Oak and the broadside guns, they're going to use them, just pointing their butt their other way now, trying to get a good favorable shot here. Rails will penetrate through automatically because, you know, railgun just has pen code of yes. Going to see the shuttle here. Like we said before, it's taking 20% of listed damage. No damage control team means if this starts a fire, it is going to burn down, as well as if that CIC or that drive gets knocked out, it will just... Why'd you bring a bridge master but no reactor? You silly goose. You don't have power for this. Pay for a damage control team, you mad lads. What are the chances they actually win? Honestly, fair. So it's worth noting, this is an all-in build from the ANS. Yes, it is one of the starter fleets. However, if the enemy team did not bring enough stuff to deal with 8 Axfords and then they can secure themselves a cap advantage, this can actually end up working. We're going to see just how quickly Nico is going to realize the situation, land all of their fighter craft, and then go about bombing stuff. You see over here, we've already got a flight of bombers kitted up. These are going to be loaded with the R3 rockets that we so love, the Spearfish, and some KB-22 bombs. You see we got 1, 2, 3 of them, not taking the 4th to avoid any maneuverability penalties on these. Actually, I think the 3rd one gives you like a 5% tax, but that's not that much. Anyways, Bombard Flight going to be living up to their name. We'll see if they end up jumping on one of the moral failings or value judgments. Cyclone Float over here, maybe making... Oh no. Oh no, they think it's like a Corvette. Oh, they're trying to go for an R1 strike. Oh, that's not what you want to do at all. Neko realizing, wait, why do you have that over here? Thinking that was like a Capra Corvette, quickly being seen off here. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Yes, Ada's definitely checking the beefcake quota for the day. Oh, these series are going to be interesting. Value Judgment is going to be taking the worst of the brunt of OSP's aggression right now. Antenna gets knocked out, so does the adaptive radar receiver. More 450, as we're now going to see Brig coming up over here, presenting broadside with that 450, letting their guns rip. They're going to be taking this thing to town. Nice broadside effect on target. Has bombard flight committed yet? No, they are still off there, waiting for one of these three experts to kind of present itself as an ideal target. Value Judgment's kind of on its own down here. Poopit electing to split their forces a little bit. One goes for the cap, the other one kind of plays nearby. Bombard might be taking that one if they get a shot on it. In the meantime, looks like Das setting up for a back cap here, and then meanwhile, Bishop, Edwin over there just kind of holding the line as they can with double Axford. Top Towards Enemy is the name of the game, presenting the maximum number of point defense guns. That's 4 defenders and 2 stonewalls. Bombard flight lets it rip. Spearfish rockets ahoy. Let's see if these are enough. Yes, they are. Wow. Even with all of that point defense there, Moral Failing is going to be experiencing a lot of damage as those bombs and rockets are going to find their way into the ship. Looks like the bombs will get cleaned up fairly nicely there. A couple of them might find their way in. Yep, getting a good hit there. That's going to take out one of the reactors. Still can recover from this. Chain restore into the large DC locker, and then the reactor afterwards will do pretty well. I'm very surprised with all the point defense guns like they were that was not shut down, especially considering they had some allied support nearby. So goes to show Capitals are quite vulnerable to those bombers, but the bombers in turn lost 2 of their count going for that bombing run. Third one is damaged, but can make it back as there's nothing to punish them. Value Judgment? Which one, Neko? I don't know. There's 4 of them. The Moral Failing down here got pretty well smacked. The Value Judgment up top here from Iona is going to be experiencing the better part of the 450 arsenal. So that's already going to be 2 Axfords looking pretty crippled. This Value Judgment has 1 restore left. Maybe can get that large locker back. They're just trying to hold this thing together as best they can. We're trying to hold on to these restores up front, but unfortunately cannot get them back. Could chain restore and then like try and pass the buck around, get yourself some extra HP, but this thing needs to find itself into a little crevice like it's trying to get into now. Does mean the drive is probably offline. Yeah, 450 going to be doing a number. Broadside 450 is quite painful, especially when you get 3 different ships firing into you, as well as I believe the rails from up top there, keeping them crippled. Rail ship looks like it took a little bit of damage though. Plant control center and no restores on this thing. Singular rapid team. Wow, this is incredibly greedy, hoping this thing never gets shot at, as we see it did there. So, yeah, that should be a good portion of their front line. Oops, all front line. Yes, literally, this is just a oops all frontline game, and I think that's what we're going to call it. 4 Solomons and a Capper each. What about that? I mean, you could run that same time. This is just the Task Force Oak style. I love that they went with this for the first tournament game that they're showing off here. That is great. Just, you know what? Play for style. Do something funky. There's nothing currently on the line for them, as I understand. This is the first match. They're not risking elimination or anything along those lines. I'd have to double check and make sure. Are the teams playing for elimination, or is that going to be them just passing on? Let me double check the stats here, as it's just going to be a case of Capitals shoot at Capitals here. Let's see. This is team. Where are we? We're on Saturday. Iona Industries versus Arroyo Vista exhibition match. Exhibition match. Oh, okay. So this is actually the exhibition. Okay, never mind. Huh. This is exhibition. And they brought 4 Oaks. All Axford, what am I looking at? Yep, I asked the same question. Menace Flight going to be finding some more rockets and bombs ahoy. Value Judgment deflects the better part of that. Only 2 bombers, not quite enough for that. You need to meet the sufficient, kind of bomber quota to pen through the point defense there, especially attacking from the top there where you've got all those defenders and stuff in arc. They do manage to get some hits in, but still, that's not that bad. Losing a couple thrusters, adaptive radar receiver, and small locker down to red, pretty good, all things considered. Let's see just how much Neko has to get off the deck with their their carrier. Yes, that's the word. Trying to prep all of the things they can now with R3 and bombs. Let's see, what is your ammunition count? R3 are counted as rockets, so you get 28 left of those. And then bombs are 116 KB22s. Yeah, okay, I think you might have enough if you can get through the flak. Just going to be a question of, can those R3s and other frontline assets reduce the enemy's point defense? Because if they knock out enough of the frontline point defense, Neko is just in perfect position to sucker punch literally everything on the board right now. That said, Brig going to get run up on, realizing, oh shit, that's an Axford from my flank. Quickly rotating over, trying to present their own broadside to return fire. Moral Failing is going to take some shots here into the center stack. Magazine looking like it's going to get redded out. Secondary mag will kick online and then draw ammo from that. Still exchanging a bit of 450 there. Ooh, rails right down the nose here. Going to be bad news for this thing. Seeing the fire cart Yeah, the fire count just instantly kicking up to 8 there. Huh. These are training teams, but like there's nothing at stake. We'll see how they end up going for this one. Anyways, Value Judgment does find itself into the kind of little crater hole here. It is currently adrift by the looks of it. Yeah, it has no drive and no restores, so only kept alive by that reactor in the CIC on this thing. It's basically out of the game. Oh boy, DAS has found their way onto a target. There is going to be a moral failing over here that does not appear to have sufficient soft kill to counter. There's no interrupt jammer in sight. CMD with home on jam is going to be ripping through the atmosphere here on the high orbit above this planet. Actually, I guess maybe we're outside the atmosphere. Hard to say. Either way, Torpedo's going to find their way home in the moral failing. Moral failing loses its immediate aft section there to a lot of redding damage. And it's going to get slugged pretty well overall. They can't technically kill this thing with the pure damage, but they can cause enough criticals like this. This will force a scram. There is no way to fix a reactor that has 4 criticals like that and the overload. This is going to require you to hit that emergency shutdown button and then pay for that with a restore. In turn, the Value Judgment over here, well, one of many is going to be unloading its payload, but at the same time, more bricks on the way. Das just eating good here. The Boot Nervy deciding to unload all of its torpedoes. Maybe we should ask if Task Force Oak gets a comms jammer in the future. I don't know about that one, Chief. Maybe we shouldn't bring 4 Task Force Oaks. I gotta... Hats off to them for doing something funny. This is hilarious. All right, so this thing is going to get torpedoed. Actually, no, it's not. Huh. Okay, yeah, front towards enemy. Point defense is good. Maybe 1 torpedo finding its way home there into the reinforced like front section, but the Value Judgment lives on the D point. How many torps do you have left? You're at 12, right? Yeah, 12 torpedoes. Okay, maybe you can get through again. We'll find out. Damn, PD tax has been paid. Good angle on that. Moral failing takes a pretty bad slugging up top here from those OSP 450 assets. In turn, the other moral failing is going to want a piece of the action, saying, hey, that looks fun. Don't mind if I do. You see the Value Judgment accompanying it, trying to get a shot in there. This moral failing from Poopit is pretty heavily damaged, but Axfords do repair quite well. Extra 10% repair means that they repair double the amount that normal ships would be able to. Here comes some more rail rounds firing downrange. Gonna catch this thing right in the nose. Fire count of only 1, so actually not that bad, all things considered. Still, the follow-up 450 is gonna be a bit of a concern when they start taking fire. Fighters are kind of just buzzing around, not really sure what to do with them right now. They're just kind of hanging out, wondering maybe there is a Corvette. Maybe you guys didn't go all of this, but the answer is no. No, we did. Okay, these ones are loaded up with just bombs and no rockets on them. Just going to be headed towards the wounded moral failing here in the back. Does this thing recover itself in time? They're trying to fix the large locker and do the chain restore, trying to also bring everything back up operational. They do have a defender on this thing and some stone walls, but I don't think they've got enough point defense to see off those bombs incoming. Then again, stone walls are pretty good, so we will see if it's able to rotate and pivot in time and shoot down all those bombs. Bombs are susceptible to that incoming, flak. They do have only about 40 health, so they're about like size 2, more or less, if it flew straight and true. Speaking of straight and true, the Woe and the Terror over here are going to be inflicting a little bit of that. Yeah, straight and true, right into the internals of the moral failing. Goodbye to the insides of that one. Let's catch those bombers in the back here. Buzzsaw flight breaking off from Tyrant. Tyrant deciding, yeah, I'll go for the other one, see if I can't smack it. Buzzsaw going to be flying on target, dropping its bomb payload right now. They're not worried about that flak at all. Does this thing have a radar active? If it doesn't have radar available, it will not see the incoming, and there's not a visual backup for that Stonewall, I don't believe. Stonewalls are... Oh no, they're missing power! Oh no, right, because they MCON'd, unfortunately, or not MCON'd, the emergency shutdown. There's no juice left in this thing. That is going to be a dead moral failing right there. Damn. Value Judgment in turn looking like they took some hits from, I think it was the follow-up torpedo strike from Das. Das over here with, I believe, no torps left in the bank. Nope, this thing got torped over here. Tyrant flight lining up for their own bombing run on this. Fight at the top of the map, likely continuing on. This one might be able to see them. Let's see if they do. Stonewalls are idle right now. Looks like they're knocked out on this side. That's unfortunate. Going to be finding their way into the ship there. A lot of bombing damage, completely graze out the midsection of this thing. CIC is still alive at a big raider drive, so technicality, it's still up. There goes that Value Judgment. Tried to make its way onto the E point. All right. Moral failing is on the underside here, trying to hide. OSP just kind of taking them to town. This is what happens when you go with an all-in. You are very susceptible to one thing in particular, but you're also very strong against other things. So you have to consider, like, what is your choice for your team comp? And you know what? Because they're just playing this for exhibition, this is funny as hell. 10 out of 10. You win my heart. Missing power, unfortunately. This is also the downside of presenting broadside. Your reactors can get smacked here. Trying to run that radar means that you cannot fire your guns if it does take priority. Has to turn off the radar there if they want to shoot back against the... Mummy Wonky over here from Dudlord. Certainly an interesting name of choice. All right. If Oak had beams, they would have steamrolled. I mean, you could have done that, but at the same time, I respect the pure Task Force Oak. I love that we saw this in the pre-game lobby, and I thought, hey, that's funny. They're playing Task Force Oak. And then we get into the game. And lo and behold... All right, bunch of R3s and KB22s looking to get another purchase into one of these Axfords. The moral failing back here is pretty wounded. This moral failing is looking pretty healthy. We'll see which one Nico decides to go after. Nico currently kid in a candy store with all these bombers, just looking for everything that they can aggress onto, not having to worry about anything like coil gun Tantos, SDM-2 frigates, or any other air control assets like that. Just basically given free liberty to bomb to their heart's content. Take a look over here. We will see that D point is currently under control by Das. Das is not able to fire anything anymore. I don't know if the Value Judgment is either. No, the Value Judgment is able to fire. I'm kind of curious why this thing is contesting still. It shouldn't have any weapons. Curious. Is there something I'm missing? Point defense turrets? Pinpoint? Torpedo? No torpedoes left in this thing. That's interesting. Huh. Breaking from the Alliance Naval Office, OSP hates trees. Yes, OSP clearly hitting the luxurious, wonderful oak material that we so enjoy. Looks like this thing got bombed while we were looking over there. Value Judgment has no power for its weapons, does it not? No, it is firing its gun right now. Huh, curious. I don't know why they're not capping the D point, and that's going to puzzle me for a little bit here. I don't see a ceremonial arming missile, which is a common tech to prevent caps. Oh, it's got the interrupt jammer. Right. Jamming counts as armed. So until this jammer is knocked out, the ship will continue to contest on the D point there. Little trivia facts for y'all at home. Anyways, we're going to see the moral failing over here, getting a cell cook-off from its chaff and flare, which is not something you see every day. They'll probably repair this thing in a few seconds, but a few seconds is all they've got left. Let's see if they can make it in time. 450 being fired off here against the Mummy Wonky, which is taking it on the snoot pretty well. Thrusters get knocked out. Reinforced stack here taking it well. Ooh, uh-oh. On the same time, though, a couple of those AP rounds find their way into the bulk mag, get us temporarily silence this thing's gun. No, actually, it's got mag up top. Never mind. Dual mag. Good call. You know, the second I say something, instantly an egg materializes and slaps me in the face. It's funny how that works, eh, chat? All right, let's take a look around the map, see who's doing what. D-point fight continues. OSP has secured themselves a 4 cap. Looking to get themselves a 5 cap as Das moving onto the point now. I know for a fact both teams' comms, they have to be laughing at this. Like, oh, you went for this. And then the ANS team in question be like, yeah, we went for it. It's funny. All right, let's take a look at the zoom out on this. Yeah, so in this situation, Nico could probably move themselves up to this rock over here, get themselves a little cover, minimize some of the travel time for their bombers. I'm a big fan of trying to push your support assets like your missile bricks in the back. If you're ANS doing those like frigates with their very popular size 3 and 2 hybrids, you can go with your carriers and such. Play them a little bit more forwards. It minimizes your travel time here, allowing you to get just that many more strikes out sooner rather than later. Bolt Flight is just kind of hanging around. They're just asking themselves, why are we here? What did we do to deserve this? Why are we having to like sit over here and eat point defense ammo? This sucks, man. Meanwhile, rails raining down from up high as the Mummy Wonky and the Keto... How do you even say that one? The Keto Borbor. That's certainly a name. They really love some of their funky names on these ones. Gonna see the rails and 450 firing down on one of the triple oaks. Even triple oak? What do you... I don't even know what to call these ships anymore because there's just so many moral failings and value judgments around the place. 450 going to be diving up here. Brig Jacil, or Brig as we typically call them because it's hard to say full sentences. Terror has taken a bit of damage here, has not managed to restore its gun. This is a bit of one of the quirks that you sometimes get when you have these back slot launchers. You don't realize that you've lost one of your guns on this thing until you take a moment to say, why aren't you shooting? And then you open your damage control board and check. Always a good thing to just, take a little glance around at some of your capitals, make sure you haven't missed something important like an antenna getting knocked out or a crucial reactor. Anyways, 450 is going to be firing off there. Moral failing might be able to make it onto the point. We're going to find out. It's trying its best with its thrusters, but looks like it's going to come to a halt here, unfortunately. Some containers coming off the back of these things. Hello, we missed that in the early game. I saw that these things had stack launchers, but I did not realize they had offensives. Some thumbtack CMB saw seeker type going to be going directly into the moral failing. Here we go. That's a lot of 450. Let's watch as this thing descends. Whee! Little hitch there as we just watch on approach. Rails and 450 for good measure. That's going to be containers right into the broadside, finding all the essential internals there. I am amazed this thing's not structure broken. Anyways, probably not going to matter because the 450 will put it in the dirt. There we go. Moral failing, unfortunately, does go down. CIC and the structure break. That's what we were waiting for. All right. So 5 caps secure for the OSP. POV, the boxes never generated a visual track. Huh. Interesting. That was Iona saying, I didn't see those boxes. Clearly, that's the issue. I think Iona's ship was too busy taking a little nap there to notice. All right, let's see. 450 is being fired off against the Mummy Wonky, which is suffering another cell cook-off for the VLS. Man, chaff is clearly very dangerous, folks. Obviously, you should not take it because you could risk cell cook-offs. For legal reasons, this is a joke. We won the moral victory here. Yes, the moral victory indeed. With the value judgment and the moral failing indeed. This one for the Blues, yeah. If nothing else, ANS wins this purely on style, just bringing 8 Axford stock fleet. Like, y'all are funny and I like it. Thank you for showing off some of your stuff here. I'm kind of curious if they're going to bring like Oops All Rockets and Oops All Torpedo Vets in another one of these matches, because I believe that they're just playing this for the sake of fun and that there's not a like tournament elimination on the line or anything. Uh-oh. Oh boy, yep. Okay, Neko finally realizing, hey, I could just bomb you guys, coming along with 10 fighters here with 20 KB-22s. That said, here is a intact flak field from Pine. Pine basically been untouched this whole game. Barracuda's going to get taken out pretty quickly there, as well as these bombs incoming. Turns out flak and defenders are pretty good. Barracuda's going for the approach, losing half of their number there, actually losing their full number. The rest of Singer Flight lingering behind here, trying to play catch up. Ooh, all right. Firestorm might be trying to get something done over here. They've got Spearfish, which are more effective getting through that flak. 120 health per missile, if I remember correctly. Might be a little bit off on that one. I haven't memorized all of the new projectiles yet. Still, active point defense field from 2 Axfords going to be trying to see what they can get done. Let's watch these missiles go off. Spearfish ahoy. Some of them getting shot down. Couple are going to find no purchase at all whatsoever. Maximum point defense field being fielded. Yeah, all of those bombers told no, thank you, try again another day as the... yeah, it turns out Task Force Oak has good point defense. Imagine that. Woo. Be mad to get Neko so hard. Neko, unfortunately, is just trying to get enough stuff off the deck to get through this point defense field, not quite realizing how strong that was, as they had managed to get through some of their bombers earlier, but unfortunately just having a little bit of a rough go. That said, clearly it has cost them the game, obviously, with Neko missing out around a little bit there. They're all probably having a laugh on the voice call there. It's just Pine left in the game right now. Kind of funny that Pine Oak. I think didn't we have a Task Force Pine at some point? I swear we did. I can't remember now, anyways. Could have Pen if he focused, but he split between 2 Axfords. Yeah, trying to go for like, an attack on target there. So it's like, you can take your choice on like whether you want to punch out just one in particular or go for both. We see them now doing their synchronized unity dance here. Love to see the Auk. Love to see the Oak Gals, the 2 magnificent sisters, on display here as they move themselves toward the top of the map in close formation. We're going to see in turn their Shrapnel Flight. Oop, not Firestorm. Get out of there. Shrapnel Flight has enough stuff to bomb this. We'll see if they can get on target. Moral Failing is currently... oh, they're holding hands. That's so nice. Look at them. Aww. Anyways, Value Judgment and Moral Failing just doing a little bit of the holding of hands there as they move themselves onto target here. Only one's point defense is going to be active as Shrapnel Flight moves in. See if these can get on target or not. Let's turn off that HUD, go for the cinematics. There you go, Rocket Strike out. A bunch of those going to get trimmed out, but a couple more going to find their way home. Moral Failing does take a hit there, but actually not that bad. Just minor damage all around. I think most of those just got soaked by like a defender or an unlucky dice roll. Value Judgment still okay in the back here. Stinger Flight going in now, trying to get some of those KB-22s on target. Not quite getting the attack angle, breaking off here at the last second. Needs to go for the direct run-up, and unfortunately running into defender range, quickly going to spell disaster. They do get the bombs out, but is it enough? A little bit of an awkward angle there, as I think these are going to find the Moral Failing. Yes, finding some good purchase there. Drive gets redded out immediately. Not quite enough to break it. The Value Judgment, I think, escapes untouched from that one. Still, they're going to drift their way onto the point, heroically trying to go for this C-cap at the top of the map. Brig over here waiting for them right here, right meow. Woe and terror upon ye. They just poke themselves over the top here and start unloading all the 450 they have in their magazines. Single KB-22, yeah, it can do some decent damage. See all the life pods now ejecting. I don't care who wins this game. ANS absolutely wins this for the style one. Like, if we're doing exhibition games, yeah, show off what you got. Neko wishing they brought the 4 strike down one. Yeah, Neko not knowing what was going to be facing off against them. In the pregame lobby, I will point out, they did see that ANS had the asterisked out names of Task Force Oak for all of them. Neko now really wishing that they brought along the Super Strike Down Center, which is designed to max out all the bombers you can possibly do. They got the internal hangar here and the bulk mag redundancies, as well as all of these deck gear lockers, flight deck traversal systems, trying to get everything out as fast as possible, but still not quite fast enough to get enough bombers out for that one. Also, once again, can't even afford a single repair team for this. 3,000 point hull, no repair teams. I wanted you to get hit by a missile. You were asking for that one. Anyways, that's going to be game over as OSP secures the points there. That said, though, Task Force Oak stays winning as the Value Judgment and Moral Failing survive. Yes! Oh, interesting builds. Well, we call that your average midshipman match. Anyways, I've been NekoboyBlue. This was a fun first exhibition game between these two teams. On the blue trunks there, that was Iona Heavy Industries. And in the orange trunks OSP, that was Arroyo Vista. We're going to go on to the next match. Called in the pre-game. Are they all going TF Oak? I called it. I don't know if I can include that one in the recording for the tournament posting, but we'll find out. Anyways, thank you, Evan Yan, for tuning in. We're going into the next game now. Meow meow.